Welcome to Chapter 1. In Chapter 1, I'm going to talk to you leaders about what to do with your head and your body, or more importantly, what not to do with your head and your body. Every time I leave a convention weekend and I'm looking at, my judges' scores, and it's interesting to see how these little tiny changes can greatly affect your competition scores and, well, your dancing overall look in general. The important thing is to have your presentation set so that once there's no issue with what you're wearing or how you're holding yourself, then the judges can actually look at your dancing more intricately versus being bothered by, your pants that are cut up to here. And so they're staring at your socks. They're seeing your dancing, but it's not part of the entire presentation. So for the first part, there's a lot of dancers that when we social dance, we like to zone out and look at our partner's hips or their body or their core to see which way they're moving. As a shagger, I love looking at my feet. But when I'm performing and I'm presenting on the dance floor, I want to make sure that my carriage is up and that I'm looking up and straight ahead. So you'll notice a lot of dancers dancing down here. The most common thinking step or head position for followers is down and out. And for leaders, we internalize down and in usually. It's sort of strange. So focus on when you're practicing for your competitions, keeping your head elevated, keeping your posture up. And as we're looking at our partner, this can be a little freaky sometimes in a Jack and Jill if you're making eye contact too much. So in general, it's going to be from chest level to up above the head. And you can also look at windows. So I can look to Tess's left or to her right. And then my head is going to swivel. And the importance of the head swivel, I'm going to show you some left side passes. This is a left side pass where I'm just looking at my partner the whole time. And this can look a little bit stiff on the dance floor versus if I were to lead and look in the direction and keep my head in a certain position. So again, that's lead and look, and then your partner will appear. On a whip, if I keep looking at my partner on the entire whip, this is good for a basic whip per se, but it's not going to show as well as, let's say, turning our head 4 to 5 to give a sharper line. Or if you want to take a step above that, you can continue looking down the slot and then rotate and spot the head as you go back. The same thing for spinning. If I'm going to leave Tess in place and I'm going to spin, this is a non-spotted turn, which not only throws me off balance, but looks very novice amateur, versus if I'm going to spin and I'm looking at my partner, and that spot is going to not only take me around and make it look cleaner, but the judges are going to appreciate that more. The next thing about what to do or not to do with your head is you don't want to move your mouth as much when you're dancing. I always see people singing the lyrics of the song, and that might be your jam. Like Riri is it. Like you just want to sing that song, but you should really contain that and sing that at another point in time when people are not judging you on what your body is doing. So the less your mouth moves, the better. Lots of judges will assume that if they see they don't see the move, but they see the aftermath when people are like, something, they assume that you effed up and you're apologizing to your partner. So in general, don't talk on the dance floor, on the competitive dance floor. The next part about what to do with your head or not to do with your head is floor awareness. So in every comp, you usually see at least 1 or 2 couples crash into each other. And this is just from a lack of not knowing where you are on the floor. So that's why spotting can be really important. If I see another couple coming into my space there, then I can change my focus and bring my partner to a different part of the floor. But what I don't want you to do, leaders, is to be over eager to see where everyone is. So let's say I'm doing a double outside roll. I can check where someone is and then focus on my partner or my presentation. But I'm not going to be constantly looking around to make sure that everything's okay. When you pick a headline, you want to keep it or go to 2 maximum. So this would be, look, see if the coast is clear, and it was. This is going to be, look if the coast is clear, oh, it's not, so then I can transition and do something different. But just like when we talk about footwork later, less is more with the head, but you definitely don't want it to be static with your body. We already talked about spot looks. The exceptions on the spot looks. So if I'm leading an underarm turn, it's super awkward to look where I'm sending my partner because it opens up my shoulder in a weird way. So on the underarm turn, I look at my partner, then I turn and look down the slot. On an inside roll, I look at my partner, then I turn and look down the slot, versus the left side pass where I can look first. And on a whip, I hold my position staring down the line. Now you're saying, Doug, what if you don't know if you want to do a whip or not? That's fine. I hold my look down the line. If I don't catch my partner, then I can rotate my head to face her. But it's that clean 180 line with the head that's going to look really, really good. Now, for body lines, and just coming out of Bridgetown this last weekend, there were a couple leaders when I was like, man, I really want to know what your number is, buddy. Like, I need to see your number. So when you're in line and you get called into a Jack and Jill, and oh, here's your partner, yay, I get to dance a Tess, and you're so excited and you want to hug your partner, what you really want to focus on, leaders, is getting your partner on your right side and standing there so the judges can write down your numbers and not piss them off, okay? With that in mind, when you're dancing, I want you to notice in this next 30 seconds of my dancing, how often can you see, if there was a bib number on my back, how often can you see that number? Sugar push takes about 4 seconds. I'm looking more at the audience, looking more at my partner. And if you notice, this whole time, you're not going to see my back. You saw it for a glimpse there, but you didn't actually see it. So leaders, if you focus on giving equal opportunity to your front lines and your back lines, not only will your presentation be sharper, but the judges will appreciate it. So the same basic patterns that I just did, but changing it for a front line, a back line, front line. Now I have body rotation, back line, front line. And your dancing, doing the exact same moves, will actually change dramatically from a judge's perspective. So that's our first chapter, head and body, what not to do.